Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and I do daily Football Manager content, so if you're new to the channel, make sure you are subscribing. But today we're going to be finding out if Leeds United hired the right manager to replace Jesse Marsch. Now, some Leeds United friends of mine would say that yes, didn't matter who they replaced him with, it was the right decision because Marsch needed to go. So what I've done here is I've taken, obviously, Gracia, who they did use to replace him, and a couple of others that were sort of favourites or rumoured to be taking over throughout the process of hiring a new manager, give them a full season in charge and see who has done the best job. So let's get this underway. Let's start with the man who got the job, Gracia even. So this is Javi Gracia here. We can see he's a decent-ish manager. Of course, he was in the Premier League previously with Watford. But if we have a look at how he did with a full season in charge at Leeds, he was sacked January 21st, so he lasted about as long as Jesse Marsch. I'm really struggling with that name, aren't I? As Jesse Marsch did. Bruno Lange came in to replace him, and if we're interested in sort of how this whole sort of season played out for Leeds in the Premier League, they did manage to stay up with Bruno Lange, so maybe that's a tick in the box for him. But yeah, there we go. So that is Gracia. Doesn't bode well for him, does it? So the next manager that we gave the job to is Andoni Iraola. I don't know how you say that name. Now, he looked like going to get the job at some point, didn't it? He's at Rayo Vallecano, sorry, in real life. Very similar manager attributes to what Gracia has, but let's see how he got on with the season in charge. So in the Premier League, 15th with 38 points. So they say 40 points keeps you up. They got there with 38, only just 2 points above Brighton, who did get relegated, but a few teams between them and the drop. So I guess, I don't know, Leeds, I always think Leeds should be a little bit more ambitious in avoiding relegation, but I suppose this season it is about staying up, and he did that. Now let's have a look at how he did in the Cups. So we'll start with the Carabao Cup, and in the second round here, Leeds United got a win. It was a penalty shootout win away to Leicester City. So that's a good result, isn't it? I mean, Leicester struggled in real life, I suppose, but they're still a decent team with some good players, and to go there and win is a good result, even if it is on penalty. So the next round, again away from home, this time to Salford City of League Two, a game that you'd expect to win, and they did. So they move on to the fourth round. This might be a cup run. And in that fourth round, at home to Liverpool, a 1-0 defeat. So probably no shame in that, although Liverpool also struggling by their standards in real life. So yeah, anyway, fourth round of the Carabao Cup. Let's see how the FA Cup played out. So not good. Away to Blackburn in a replay, and they've gone out 2-0. So that's not fantastic. I mean, Leeds season, as I sort of said before, it's going to be determined by the league, I would imagine. Going out to lower league is not great, is it, in the FA Cup? But ultimately, he got the job done. So let's see if anybody can do that. Do better than that, I should say. Let's have a look at the next man we gave the job to. It was this man, Arne Slot, one of the great names, you've got to say. He would have, well, he had to be a success if you got that name, don't you? Or else you will not last long in the UK. I'd say he looks a little bit better attribute-wise as a manager, though not maybe as well-rounded. There's a few sort of lower attributes there. But let's see how we got on. So in the Premier League, it is 14th with 43 points, so a higher position, more points, and a relatively comfortable end of the season there. What's that? 7 points clear of the drop in the end. So that's a good job, I'd say, for this season with this Leeds squad. So well done on that front. How'd he do in the Cups, though? So why Areola got past Leicester City, we did not on this occasion with Slot. He was beaten 1-0. At Leicester City. Again, you'd say maybe no disgrace in that, especially Carabao Cup. You might be better off out of that early anyway. But let's see if the FA Cup was any more successful. So a very tough draw away to Liverpool, and not a cup manager is Slot, is he? So out at the first hurdle for both the cups, but ultimately 14th in the league, 43 points. He's probably just ahead maybe of Areola, who knows? So the next man we gave the job to was Michael Skubala. Now, I had to look up who he was. He is the manager of the youth team, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't usually work, you know, one manager sort of stepping up within the club, but it does work outside of England, but not really in the UK, does it? So let's see how promotion from within the club played out. And you've got to say very nicely, thank you very much, 8th in the league for Leeds this season with him in charge, 51 points. That is better than I think. It's where Leeds should be, arguably, with the size and history of the club. But to actually go and get 8th with this Leeds team, that is an amazing job, isn't it? Let's see if he had that sort of success in the Cups. So second round of the Carabao Cup, and it was drawn at home to Newcastle. It was defeat. I mean, Newcastle's a strange team in this first season, isn't it? They're good in real life, arguably massively overachieving in real life when you look at the team that they have. There's definitely some weaknesses there, but yeah, disappointing to lose at home. But again, Carabao Cup, you're probably better off out of it if you're not going to win it, aren't you? What about the FA Cup, though? So third round, it was drawn at home to League One Fleetwood, and a comfortable 3-0 win. That's exactly what you'd expect them to do versus League One opposition. So on to the fourth round. Fourth round, away to League Two Northampton. That's always a banana skin, isn't it? But 3-0 again, comfortable. They're just getting the job done, aren't they? Let's try the fifth round. And fifth round, it all comes to a screeching halt. Beaten at home by Championship West Brom. You wouldn't have seen that coming, would you? That looked like a game, the way that the Cup had been going, that they would win. Going well in the league as well. I do wonder if maybe I was taken off of the Cups, you know, chasing European football through the league. But that's a little bit of a disappointing way to go out, albeit in the fifth round. Let's have a look who the next man is we gave the job to. And they're going to have to go some way, aren't they, to do better than Scubala did there. But it was Nuno Espirito Santo, an interesting manager to be linked to the job. He did really well at Wolves. Obviously, Tottenham didn't quite work out for him. But let's see how he could do if he was the Leeds manager. And the answer is poorly, because he was sacked even before they sacked Gracia there, the 29th of December. Merry Christmas, Nuno. You're looking for a job. So that is, again, not great. And in the season as it played out, Leeds could not be saved. 36 points and relegated in 18th place. 4 points shy of the teams in 17th and 16th place. So a complete and utter disaster with Nuno. Good thing he didn't get the job, isn't it? One more man that we gave the job to. And he was on the list of potential managers. He's obviously a favourite of mine, and Postecoglou. I think he's a very, very good manager, and I think he will go to the Premier League at some point. He is Celtic manager, of course, in real life, former Socceroos manager as well. And I thought he'd be a really good choice, because he's similar-ish to the sort of manager that Bielsa is. He likes, you know, pressing and possession football. So I thought he would do well if he was given the job. Similar, you know, style of management. Let's see if I was right, though. So very comfortably in mid-table, 12th with 42 points. So less points than Slot, less points than Scubala, but you know, second of managers, he was the second highest in the league. 5 points clear of the drop in the end. So that would be a very nervy end to the season for everybody involved, wouldn't it? All the way up to sort of Everton, you'd be the last couple of games still wondering if you were going to stay up. But anyway, my boy did okay there, didn't he? Let's have a look and see how he did in the Cups. So second round of the Carabao Cup, it's a very comfortable 3-0 win against runaway championship leaders Burnley. So that's a cracking result, really, isn't it? So well done there. Let's see how the next round played out. So it was away to Spurs and a 2-0 defeat. One of those you'd say maybe no shame in that, but it's always disappointing to go and not score a goal, isn't it? So anyway, Carabao Cup run comes to an end in the third round. What about the FA Cup? So a tough draw again at home to Newcastle, a 1-0 defeat in the third round, and that's all she wrote for the FA Cup as well. So a little bit like Slot, perhaps not a cup manager, but did well in the league. So there we go. That's how it played out. Let me know who you think, how you think it went. I think you've got to give it to Scubala. There's an 8th in the league, and some cup runs in there as well is magnificent. Postecoglou, I think, for second, and then maybe Slot third. But I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter. I think the big disappointment here is that Gracia was sacked. Hopefully, it works out better for him than that in real life. But as I said, I think Leeds fans are just happy to get rid of Jesse Marsch on the whole, aren't they? So there we go. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to let me know who you think was the winner of this particular experiment, and how you think Gracia will go in real life. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to join me, you can join me for a season at Aston Villa, or perhaps in Grindavik in Iceland, as we try and win the Champions League. Take care.